So let's talk about some 3 tips to help you transfer to conversation. The first one is regular practice. It takes regular practice, and this means out loud reading and practice time. Now, I've had students that say, oh yeah, I'm practicing every day, but really they're kind of skimming through, they're kind of reading something in their head, and then when they come to a word they are not sure about pronouncing, then they say that out loud. No, that doesn't work. You have to be reading out loud. You have to be saying each and every word in the whole sentence, the whole paragraph. Say it all out loud so that you're able to get that rhythm and that flow and the linking and the connecting and all the sounds working together. Again, we're exercising those mouth muscles, so we have to be reading out loud. Now, the trick about being consistent with this, enough to transfer it into your daily life, is that your daily conversation, is that you have to establish your practice time as a daily routine. You have to set that up. Those routines are so powerful. Those things that are most important, we need to be setting that as a priority and finding time to do that. So you have to make it happen. You have to make sure that that practice time happens. Because if it's not happening regularly, then I can tell you that transfer is not going to happen as easy into conversation. So make that practice time a regular occurrence in order to transfer those skills. Okay? Another strategy is to record yourself and listen to it. Okay? So you want to do that self-evaluation, that as you record yourself, not only are you kind of on the spot when you record yourself, you have to be kind of perform in that moment, but you also, as you listen back to it, then you can listen to yourself, you can evaluate yourself, and it brings more awareness as you hear yourself. So first, what you want to do is record yourself while you're reading something, but then you need to move it into unscripted practice. So being able to talk without having something written, or just being able to talk freely and be able, and like you would in conversation, and be able to listen to that and evaluate yourself. Okay. The other thing that some of my students have done is they've set up reminders for themselves. So it's, they say, well, I remember my focused practice, but then I forget to use anything in my, when I am giving a presentation or in an interview or things like that. So some of my students have done things like set up notes on their presentation. So they'll just say 3 easy tips, or they'll say slow down, or they'll say, whatever it is that they're struggling with, they'll have a little note to remind them to practice that. Okay, so a note on your desk, sometimes like a rubber band on your wrist that is going to remind you of using those pronunciation skills. Okay, and the key is to kind of change it up frequently. If that same note has been on your desk for weeks and weeks, then you tend to tune it out and not notice it anymore. So change it up, try and create those reminders throughout your day to help you use those skills that you've been practicing. Now the key is, I understand that when you're in an interview, you're giving a presentation, there's so much to think about. You're not going to be thinking of, oh, where do I put my mouth in this position, for this sound. There's too much to think about in those situations. So as you're doing that regular practice and practicing reading out loud and recording yourself and things, that's training your mouth in a certain way and those muscles in a certain way. So when it comes to game time, when it comes to that interview, all you need to really focus on is those 3 easy tips. Slow down, move your mouth, speak up, and your mouth will remember all these things that you've practiced along the way. So really, that daily practice is the key to transferring those skills. So remember that. If you're feeling like, oh, I'm not transferring my skills very well, then pick up that, make sure you're getting more regular with your practice, and I guarantee that that is going to help you transfer those skills into conversation.